The topic is impact of biological clock on health and study. So we know that today, as it is 21st century, and we are interacting with the numerous diseases and problems. And in that, the behavioral problems are the most critical for human being. The problems we can control by controlling our behavior, by our habits. So our today's topic is concerning with the same, the behavioral problem. The problem we face due to our bad habits, due to any circumstances, due to any compulsion of the work. So it is very, very concerning topic, and I hope you will enjoy as well as get concerned knowledge of the field. In that topic, mostly two words are very, very important to take care. One is biological clock, another one is circadian cycle, and we will go through that. Just see it. Biological clock. Biological clock, as everybody knows, it is a natural timing device that regulates the circadian cycle. So I have already told you that these two terms are very important to take care. One is biological clock, another one is circadian cycle. Biological clock, it is not any clock like any wall clock as we are having in our home, but it is some clock-like system, and our body follows that. In your day-to-day life, you can experience that. In certain time of period, we feel hungry. In certain time of period, we feel sleepy. So it is some certain kind of cycle is there, some rhythm is there, and that rhythm is called the circadian rhythm, and that rhythm is controlled by the clock that is called the biological clock. So it is very important to know circadian rhythm, and because it is very related to our health, and by disturbing these two things, biological clock and circadian cycle, we so many health related problem arises in our body. So the next is, by this we can easily understand. Just look at the slide. At morning 6 o'clock, we can see when generally we wake up, and at the same time, because day is going up as the sun rises, and sharpest rise in blood pressure we observe. Then as the day proceeds, melatonin secretion stops. Melatonin, if you know, it is the sleep hormone. Melatonin, it is secreted by the pineal gland in the body, and it is sleep hormone. So because it is daytime, it is morning time, so melatonin secretion, it stops naturally. And why it stops? Because it follows the circadian cycle, it follows the biological clock of the body. And if you know, there is not any one biological clock, but it is the each and every tissue and cell of our body, it has its own biological clock. So all the tissues and all the cells, they are following their biological clocks. So it goes on like that, and as the day proceeds, when it go to 8:30 or 9 o'clock, so we generally all people feel the same. Bowel movement increases at morning time. Then high testosterone secretion, because testosterone is an activity hormone, just opposite to melatonin. Melatonin is a sleep hormone and testosterone is an activity hormone. And at noon time, there is a peak time for alertness. So by this picture, we can easily understand what is biological clock exactly and how does it work. And it runs in every individual, not only in one or two or you and me, but in every individual this clock runs. And as it goes up and up, you see in the evening time, like nearly 5 o'clock, we feel high cardiac vascular activity and muscle strength. So why it is? Because it is evening time, and generally most of us, we go for the field work or sports work or gym or workout. So that time we need a high activity. So that time adrenaline and these biochemicals are high active and highly concentrated in our blood. And as it goes up, so in night time again, because I have already said you melatonin, it is a sleep hormone. So melatonin secretion high in this time. So by this picture you can understand how our biological clock works from morning to night, and how the time to time, in certain period of time, all the activities starts in our body. Morning and evening and afternoon and night, whatever the activity is, it follows a cycle, a systematic cycle. So it goes on, and there is a master clock. Already we have talked about the biological clock, but in our body a master clock is also there, and it is situated in the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is a part of the brain. So in hypothalamus a master clock is there, and master clock it is made up of nearly 20,000 neurons. And what is it works? So it works to integrate all the biological clocks of the body. Because I have already said you that every cell and tissue is having its own biological clock. So master clock works is to integrate, to sync all the biological clocks in the body and to maintain the homeostasis of the body. So it is also very important, and it has another name, it is suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN. In next slide. So this circadian rhythm, how it affects our health. So I have told you that these two terms are very important in this discussion. One is biological clock, and another one is circadian rhythm. So biological clock is a controller, and circadian rhythm is a one cyclic pattern that our body follows. So circadian rhythm affects our health. It controls our hormone release, and hormone release, you know, there are two controlling mechanisms in our body. Can I ask to any student, can anybody tell what are the two controlling mechanisms of our body? One is hormonal system, another one is nervous system. And what is the difference between both? The nervous system is the fastest system, and hormonal system is the slow system, and both are having their own importance. Nervous system is a very complex system, and hormonal system is a simple system. There are only glands and their secretions. So hormonal system, it is affected by the circadian rhythm. If circadian rhythm, due to our some work pattern or due to our bad habits, we disturb our circadian rhythm, so definitely our hormonal system will get disturbed. And hormonal system is getting disturbed, it means so many different health issues will arise in the body. Second thing, the circadian rhythm affect health is eating habits and digestion. Already we have discussed that in certain time of period we feel hungry, and in certain time of period we feel sleepy. So how it happens? Because there is a system behind this, and it is called circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm, when suppose your lunch time it comes, so already you will feel hungry, and your GIT secretions will start. So this is the another function of the circadian rhythm. And our body temperature. Already last slide we have seen in the picture that as the day starts, our body temperature gets rise, and slowly at night time it goes down. So these are the basic functions. It is controlled by the circadian rhythm. And now the factors can change circadian rhythm. So these are the factors. Mutation is the most important comment. Can anybody answer what is mutation? Yes? Permanent change in DNA. Because okay, very good. So mutation, it is one factor that changes circadian rhythm. Mutation means change in genetic environment, gene or DNA or whatever. So mutation can cause the change in circadian rhythm. And there are so many factors behind the mutation, like chemical factors can be involved, or environmental factors can be involved, or any radiation factor can be involved. So if, due to any factor, if there is a change in your genetic scenario, so it is called mutation, and this mutation can also affect your circadian rhythm. Second thing is, you can see there is shift work. Shift work generally, because our body follows light and dark cycle, and the people go for shift work. They go for late night work. Suppose so many individuals we know, they work in night, like call center people, or in hospitals also there are a cycle of duties. Some nurses or some staff go for night work. So this night working, it also affects your circadian rhythm, because our body is not made up to work in the night. Night is for resting time. But generally due to circumstances or due to some situation, condition, we work at night. So whatever the reason, but the shift work or the night work, it affects our circadian rhythm. And once it has affected, so definitely health issue will arise. In the later slides, I will tell you how you can control these bad effects. If suppose you are compelled to work in the night, or you are compelled to study in night, so no problem. I will tell you the some tricks or some solutions. By adopting that, you can overcome the health issues you will face. And the third point, please take care. Light from electronic devices at night can confuse our biological clock. Generally, because of this, the physicians prevent to use electronic device at night time. If you are using electronic devices much and more at night, like if you are using a computer, or you are using, especially the most important is mobile. If you are using these such kind of electronic devices at night, so some blue radiation comes out from these electronic devices, and that blue radiation is highly responsible for the disturbance of the biological clock. So it happens, and most of the people can experience this. If you go for the late night use of mobile phones, so you will feel the disturbance in the sleep. How many of you have felt this? At night time, if you are using electronic devices, you feel sleep disturbance. How many of you? So here is the reason. Already it has researched that some blue light is there, and it comes out from the electronic device, and this blue light disturbs our biological clock. So that's why if it is not very important, so avoid using electronic devices at night time. And these changes, whatever is due to mutation or shift work, or using electronic devices much and more, the problem arises, and this will cause ultimately the sleep disorders and obesity, diabetes, depression, and bipolar disorders, and seasonal affective disorders. So these all disorders are mental related, and we should avoid this as much as we can. This is another factor. Already 3 factors we have seen that can disturb our biological clock. It is mutations, shift work, and using electronic devices. This is another factor, that traveling across time zones disrupts your circadian rhythm. If any person is traveling from this time zone to another time zone, or he is traveling from Asia to Europe, then Europe to America. So because we are living in this planet having different time zones, so definitely he will suffer from the disturbance of the circadian rhythm, biological clock. So this is also another factor. You know, in Europe, few countries are there, like Norway is the one country, Norway. So in midnight, you can see there is sunlight. You know this? In 12 o'clock at night, there is a sun in the sky. So any person he is traveling from Asia to that part of the world, so he will feel some sleep problem or some health related issue. So this is very important to know. So already I have discussed you that our biological clock, it sync our endocrine system with environmental light dark cycles, so that certain hormones are released in certain amount at certain time of day. And melatonin is very important hormone that we must know its function. Melatonin is called as sleep hormone, and it is secreted by the pineal gland. Okay, so this melatonin is very important, and because our body follows circadian cycle, circadian rhythm. So at night time, naturally, at night time, at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, pineal gland secretes greater amount of melatonin, and due to that melatonin we feel sleepy. And if due to any cause, using high electronic device or whatever, so our that melatonin secretion gets low, and again our sleep disturbance arises. See the second point, doctors advise reducing exposure to artificial blue light from electronic devices before bedtime, because it can disrupt melatonin secretion and sleep quality. Okay, so it is very important to know, or especially I tell to students, because without taking care they use, without taking care and also without knowledge, because most of the students, they don't know what is the bad effect of electronic devices and whatever. So definitely if you are go for late night work or late night study, so there will be the problem, and in next slide you will see what are the problems, and most of them have experienced that. See, these are the main side effects of late night sleeping. The concentration problem, the first thing, the concentration problem. You won't be able to concentration 100% on your day activities if you go for late night study or late night sleeping. So definitely in the next day or in coming days, you will feel the concentration problem. Second problem is the memory problem. Your memory power will decrease over time with frequent delay of sleep. Memory problem will decrease. The third side effect of late night sleeping is mood swing. Mood swing, it is a new term for us. Research shows that people with less sleep will have frequent mood swing in a day. Do you understand mood swing? Mood swing, you are not fixed to any thought. Sometimes in a second of time, in a minute of time, you will be angry. then you will be very calm in the next few minutes. Then again you will be very, very aggressive. Then in the next few minutes you will be very energetic. Then again you will calm down. So this is called the mood swing. You are not fixed to, and this is the one way to define the mood swing. Another way, you cannot properly maintain the relations. You show your anger on your family members, your dear friends. So like that. This is another way to define the mood swing. So mood swing is a very critical problem if you go for the late night sleeping. Third is the health issues. Already we know diabetes, stroke, heart diseases, heart failure, heart attack, irregular heartbeat and high blood pressure. These are the problems generally suffered by the late night sleepers. So must know these things. And then obesity. Obesity is related to all these problems. If you are going for late night sleeping, so generally you will feel obesity. Obesity, you understand? The fattiness. Okay? Now, already I have said you that I will tell you the solutions. If suppose you are compelled to work in late night, so you cannot avoid this. Suppose exams are there, so surely you have to study late nights. And if you are working in call centers, definitely you have to work in late night. If you are in medical staff in hospital, you have to work in late night. So you cannot avoid, right? So now in that cases, how can you overcome the bad effects of late night sleepings? So I tell you here, the remedies, step by step I will tell you, and very easy things, very easy tricks. Meditation, the first and the foremost, meditation. Meditation, if you do, there are various kinds of meditation, and if you follow anyone, definitely it will help you and it will overcome your all the health issues arises due to the disturbance of the biological clock of the body. So meditation, then very interesting, acupressure if you know, and please have an interest on especially this slide. It is very, very interesting, and you see there it is a part of our ear. So these are the acupressure points, and see there is the, I show you here, pineal gland is there. So here is the point for pineal gland. Pineal gland, I have already said you that it is responsible for the secretion of melatonin, and melatonin is the sleep hormone. So if you press to this point, pineal gland, this, and you see here this point, it is for insomnia. Insomnia means sleep disorder, and this point. So this whole part of the ear, this is very, very important. And if you feel sleep disturbance in night, so you can press these points, and I show you the effect. For 1 or 2 minutes, press these points. Press, everyone, I request to everyone, press these points with both hands. Not very hard press, don't do hard press, and don't do very soft press. It is medium press, medium. And to your complete ear, like this. Do it for 1 minute. Definitely. You don't sit like this. You busy your work for doing this. You will feel the effect. Suppose if last night also if you are having sleep disturbance, so this time you will feel very relaxed. And if you continue for 2 to 3 minutes, you may fall asleep here. Do it for 1 minute. I request everyone. With both hands, complete your ears. especially the cartilaginous parts. And if you can close your eyes, you will feel the effect much and more. Close your eyes and do. Some optimum pressure, not very hard, not very less. So in our whole body, you can carry on. You can carry on with your acupressure point, no problem. I want to tell you there are so many pressure points in our body, and these points are related to some particular organs, and by pressing these points we can get some kind of health benefits. So these here in the slide you can see the points are there. These are points for sleep disturbance, and whenever you feel sleep disturbance in night, so in daytime you can do it so many times. Whenever you feel or whenever you remember these things, so you can go with the pressing your sleep points.
Bhramari pranayam is another remedy for the sleep disturbance.
आज आपको भ्रामरी प्राणायाम के बारे में बताते हैं। प्राणायाम का अर्थ होता है प्राणों का नियंत्रण, और कई प्रकार के प्राणायाम होते हैं, और प्राणायाम करना इसलिए आवश्यक होता है जिससे कि जो प्राणवायु है हमारे शरीर में उसका नियंत्रण हो जाए, और उसके नियंत्रण होने से शरीर को बहुत सारे आध्यात्मिक और शारीरिक फायदे होते हैं। केवल भ्रामरी प्राणायाम मैं आपको इसलिए बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि भ्रामरी प्राणायाम जैसे हम देखते हैं कि बाकी हमारे जो अंग हैं उन्हें हम हिला के उनका आसन कर लेते हैं, उनकी कसरत कर लेते हैं। जैसे पेट है तो पेट को हिला के उसका आसन हो जाता है, गले को भी हिला के उसका आसन हो जाता है। लेकिन जो हमारा मस्तिष्क है, जो हमारा मन है, दिमाग है, इसके लिए इसे हिलाया नहीं जा सकता। तो इसलिए और मस्तिष्क का स्वास्थ्य है पूरे शरीर के स्वास्थ्य के लिए बहुत आवश्यक है। तो मस्तिष्क से जुड़ी जितनी भी समस्याएं हैं, जो भी इमोशनल समस्याएं हैं या अनिद्रा की समस्या है, डिप्रेशन की समस्या है, तनाव की समस्या है, इस तरह की जितनी भी समस्याएं हैं, व्याकुलता है, भय है, तो ऐसी सारी समस्याओं के लिए ये एकमात्र अकेला प्राणायाम ही भरपूर है, काफी है। जिन लोगों को रात को नींद नहीं आती, जिनको तनाव बहुत होता है और जिन्हें अनिद्रा की भी शिकायत है, ऐसे सभी लोगों को भ्रामरी प्राणायाम कम से कम 7 से 8 बार जरूर करना चाहिए, सुबह और शाम। और सुखासन में ही आराम से बैठ जाइए। सुखासन मतलब पालथी मारकर जैसे साधारण हम बैठते हैं खाना खाने के लिए या दूसरे किसी काम के लिए, उसे ही सुखासन कहा जाता है। तो उसमें एकदम आराम से बैठ जाइए और उसके बाद रीढ़ की हड्डी को सीधा कर लीजिए और बहुत आराम से बैठ जाइए। और इसके पश्चात आप सांस को भरते हुए, सांस को आप डीप ब्रीथ करना है आपको, क्योंकि आपको अच्छा, और सांस भी एकदम तनाव में आपको नहीं भरना है, एकदम नॉर्मल जैसे आप देखेंगे। ऐसा करके आप पूरे अपनी छाती को शांतिपूर्वक तरीके से रिलैक्सफुली पूरा सांस भर लीजिए, डीप ब्रीथ। और इसके उपरांत ये आप कान में देखें, अंगूठों को अंदर डालने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, कुछ लोग अंदर डालते हैं, लेकिन ज्यादा सही है कि आप जो यहाँ पे एक ढक्कन जैसा संरचना है, अगर आप गौर से देखें, ये इसको आपको अंगूठों से ऐसे दबाना है और ऐसा दबाना है कि ये कान के छेद को बंद कर दे। इस तरह से आपको उसको दबाना है और दबाने के उपरांत आपको बहुत आराम से इन 3 उंगलियों को आंखों पे रखना है और इन दोनों उंगलियों को दोनों हाथ की ऊपर माथे पे रखना है और ऐसे रख के आप सांस आपने भरी हुई है, पहले ही मैंने बताया। एक बार मैं आपको पूरा करके दिखाता हूँ पूरे क्रमबद्ध तरीके से। ऐसे आप तैयारी कर लें पहले और उसके बाद आप सांस भरें। आपको ऐसे कम से कम 7-8 बार करने के उपरांत ही ये हाथ हटाना है। और क्योंकि मुझे आपको बताना है इसलिए मैंने अभी हटा लिया, लेकिन आपको जब आप करेंगे तो 5-6 बार, 7 बार, 8 बार करने के उपरांत ही आप ऐसे हटाएं। और ये भ्रामरी प्राणायाम है और इसका नाम भ्रामरी इसलिए है क्योंकि भंवरे की जैसी आवाज इसमें हम निकालते हैं। और आप जब इसे करेंगे तो आप पाएंगे कि इतना अच्छा कंपन होता है और वो पूरे मस्तिष्क में जो भी आपका, चाहे वो पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड है, चाहे पीनियल ग्लैंड है, चाहे हाइपोथैलेमस है, ये ब्रेन के वो पार्ट हैं जो कि पूरे सारे इस तरह की निद्रा, व्याकुलता, चिंता, तनाव और डिप्रेशन, इस सारी अवस्थाओं को इन्हीं भागों द्वारा कंट्रोल किया जाता है। तो ये जो कंपन होता है भ्रामरी प्राणायाम में, इससे काफी आराम मिलता है। और आप करके भी इसको देखें अगर अभी, तो आप पाएंगे कि आपको कितना ज्यादा आराम मिला। और जब आप ये अंगूठे से इस दोनों ढक्कन जो आपके यहाँ दिख रहा है, आप गौर करें, ये इसको जब आप बंद करते हैं तो आपको अपने रक्त के प्रवाह का भी अनुभव अपने अंगूठों के द्वारा यहाँ होगा। तो ये भ्रामरी प्राणायाम है और इसको आप 7-8 बार करें सुबह, 7-8 बार करें शाम को, तो आपको अनिद्रा, बेचैनी, व्याकुलता, क्रोध, मतलब दिमागी तौर पे जितनी भी इस तरह की समस्याएं हैं, इन सब से आपको राहत मिल जाएगी। मैं एक बार और करता हूँ, आप उसे ध्यान से देखिए। इसको बंद किया, आंख पे जो उंगलियां रखनी है और माथे पे वो आपको रिलैक्सफुली रखनी है, लेकिन जो कान का ढक्कन आपको बंद करना है, ये आपको थोड़ा सा अच्छे से बंद करना है कि बंद हो जाए। सात बार ऐसा करने के उपरांत बहुत आराम से हाथों को नीचे ले आइए और बहुत आराम से बैठिए। आंखों को भी धीरे से खोलिए, एकदम झटके से ना करें। प्राणायाम करते वक्त कुछ भी आप झटके से ना करें। तो ये था भ्रामरी प्राणायाम और इसे आप करें अवश्य। और जो भी आपकी दिमाग से संबंधित जो भी समस्याएं हैं, मानसिक समस्याएं हैं, यहाँ तक कि जो हमारे शरीर की एक बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक होती है, जो कि शरीर की सारी जो एक रिदम है, जिसे सर्कैडियन रिदम कहा जाता है, जिसके जो हमारे शरीर की जो भी फिजिकल, मेंटल, बिहेवियरल जो भी एक्टिविटीज हैं वो एक रिदम में चलती है। मतलब एक रिदम में हम उठते हैं, एक रिदम का पालन पूरा शरीर करता है। रात को नींद एक निश्चित समय पे अपने आप आ जाती है, प्रातःकाल हम उठ जाते हैं, एक समय पे भूख लग जाती है। तो ये सारी चीजें एक रिदम में चलती हैं और इस पूरे रिदम को सर्कैडियन रिदम कहा जाता है। और इस रिदम को जो हमारी एक शरीर में जैविक घड़ी है, जिसे बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक कहते हैं, वो कंट्रोल करती है। तो ये सर्कैडियन रिदम का भी जो डिस्टर्बेंस होता है शरीर में, वो भी बहुत सारे रोग पैदा करता है। और तो इस सर्कैडियन रिदम का भी जो डिस्टर्बेंस है उसे भी ये भ्रामरी प्राणायाम बहुत संतुलित कर देता है. तो ये बहुत अच्छा प्राणायाम है और आप इसे अवश्य करें. In this whole discussion, we have discussed deeply about the biological clock and circadian rhythm. These two important words, we must note it. Okay? And the whole health of our body is depending on these two things, biological clock and circadian rhythm. Biological clock is the controller and circadian rhythm is controlled. ठीक है? तो if we go for some unnatural work or any work which is beyond the natural law of body, so definitely our biological clock will get disturbed, and once our biological clock will get disturbed, definitely health problem will arise in our body. So already we have discussed all the things, and at the last we have seen the solutions. How can we overcome the problem arise? ठीक है? So you have seen the meditation, you have seen the acupressure, the pressure points, and at the last we have seen the Bhramari pranayam, the very prominent, very foremost pranayam to control, to tackle with such kind of insomnia, depression, tension related issues. Okay? So this is the complete essence of this whole discussion. So maintain your health. Okay? And I request everyone for at least for 2 minutes do the Bhramari pranayam, and I initiate and you follow, please. So sit relax fully here, okay, and don't involve pressure on any part of the body, any cell. Relax fully. Backbone should be very relaxed, not very tight. Lid, and you can see here one cover like structure, ear lid. So press it with thumb, okay, or put your fingers, 3 fingers on your eyes, and 2 these remaining fingers on your forehead. Relax fully, and calmly inhale. Breathe करिए. कामली करना है. पहले सांस भर लीजिए अपने छाती में, अच्छे से भर लीजिए, और उसके बाद भरने के बाद आप भौरे की तरह ऐसा गुंजन करें. आपको ये फील होगा कि आपके जो without stopping, continue again. Continue, inhale and continue that pranayam again and again, at least for 3 to 4 times. Okay, calm down. So very easy pranayam, and I think you are feeling some relaxation now as compared to before. So these two things, the Bhramari pranayam and the pressure point, I have already said you on here. Okay? There are some pressure point. So you can do in your classrooms, in your office room, in your anywhere, whatever. You can do for 1 or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and you will feel relaxed and all that sleep disturbance or any depression or any tension related issue, you will be overcome in few minutes. So these are all the things, and thank you very much everyone for listening me, and I wish prosperous future, bright future for everyone, and especially for the dear students. Go in your life and achieve big success. Thank you.